First, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory
to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Hey man, today we all about prophecy. All right, because there's been a whole lot of prophecy going on throughout the whole world. All right, as you can see, the Lord is working. All right, and as the scriptures say, Habakkuk the 2nd chapter, the Lord said what? Though it tarry, wait for it. All right, because it will surely come and it will not tarry. All right, so it's just like, you know, the prophecies are just like that. You know, they come, then they stop, then they come, then they stop. You know, like you know, they play around like that. But when the full prophecies get fully unleashed, man, it's not gonna stop. It's gonna be like a domino effect. Okay, so what we're seeing right now is prophecies being fulfilled, and then the setup of other prophecies also coming into place. All right, and starting with the whole tensions within the beast. Okay, which we know that the first beast, all right, to be the ancient pagan Roman Empire. All right, but you got to understand that Rome wasn't just a one-man team. Okay, just like today, America's not a one-man team. This beast system consists of other nations as well. All right, so you had the British and the French and the Spanish, you know, and the Germans, okay, and all these different areas that the Romans were over. So they were all a part of that body. So the Roman Empire wasn't just Rome. It was also other bodies which were Edomites, okay, mixed in there, all right, to cause that, to have that beast. So today's system is the same thing. They just go by different names, all right. Back then you had a form of the EU and so on and so forth. And today you have it today as the new beast, which is the European Union and NATO, okay. What you got?
And the reason why that is because really the whole beast system is all financial based. Right. They have the military and then they have the finances, but really, in order for them to control the population, they're gonna have to own the money system. Like what's his name? Ashur Ra. Yeah. What's that quote? He said, "Give me the nation's control of the nation's money, and I care not who makes the laws." So right now, the Rothschilds or the elites are trying to break down the global financial system, come up with a new one where they can have a complete control over, man. All right. So you're gonna have which I have it here. I hope I do, and then we're gonna get a quick precept. All right. What they're trying to do is they're trying to consolidate everything. All right. They're gonna consolidate everything where you're gonna have the people. All right. At the bottom, then you're gonna have nations, states, and regions. All right. So you're gonna have regions around the whole world. Okay. And then the European Union is gonna be joined in with. They're gonna evolve from the EEC, and then you're gonna have the American Union, and then you're gonna have the Pacific Union, and then you're gonna have the African Union. And all together going to come up to make that world government, which is going to be the central bank, the currency, the army, the microchip population. Okay, so that's where it's all leading to right now, man. That's the beast system that we were talking about. Okay, but on a lesser, you know, we always talk about EU and NATO, but what are those conglomerates that come together to form that beast? Because EU is going to be controlling the parts of Europe and Asia and so on and so forth. You have the Pacific Union, like I just mentioned. You have the African Union. So everything is going to be global. Okay, this whole thing is global, just like this truth is global. All right.
Yeah, and if you think about it, Esau wants to create a third beast.
Right.
All right, which is going to be that new world order, where instead of it just being, you know, a certain part of the world, now it's every, like that's why you mentioned these other unions. He's trying to create a third beast, which is going to be for him that final beast with total control over everything. Right. All right, but that's not how the Lord set it up to be.
Right. So it's the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushai.
Right.
Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahushai is the spirit of prophecy.
Beautiful. The testimony of Yahushai is the spirit of prophecy. All right, so you would know that we're the true prophets by us speaking prophecy. All right, that's how you confirm if somebody's a prophet or not. Now, I believe it's in the book of Jeremiah. It says if a prophet says something that doesn't come to pass, you're going to know that they're a false prophet. You know, so that's why the main thing we go into is prophecy, and you'll notice nobody else does that. And what I mean by that is these Christians, why is it that every Sunday you go into the church, you never really hear about prophecy? All right, they don't break down scriptures, they don't teach you anything new. It's the same rhetoric over and over and over again. All right, that feel-good gospel. Okay.
This is Jeremiah chapter 28, starting from verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against many kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Right. So the prophets that were before Jeremiah, All right, they prophesied against many countries and kingdoms. You have prophets that prophesied against the northern kingdom, against the southern kingdom. When you read in the book of Jeremiah, getting to the latter end, he's prophesying against different people. He's prophesying against Egypt. He's prophesying against Babylon. Okay, the Ammonites, the Moabites. He's prophesying against everybody. All right, and some of it is future, and some of it is present. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just a quick precept. Isaiah 8:20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, is because there is no light in them.
That's right. If they speak not according to this word, it's because there's no light in them. All right? Because in order for you to understand this truth, man, in order for you to speak according to the word, that's why we constantly get precepts. All right? A precept is to back up what we're saying. All right? We can mention a point, we can talk about it, but then we get the proof to where we got that concept of what we're talking about from. All right? That's why we constantly go into these scriptures.
If I may, prophecy is also visions that was given onto those men. So they was to see things that was to come. You know, so we prophesy, we have visions of things to come that by the prophets also that's in the Bible. That's all we bring out. We bring out scriptures of the Bible. And our man, quick precept right here speaks of Isaiah in Isaiah 13:1, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amoz didn't see. So he had that vision. There was a prophecy about what was to come to Babylon in these last days.
God, beautiful point.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 22. When a prophet speaketh in the name of the Lord, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord has not spoken, but the prophet has spoken it presumptuously, thou shalt not be afraid of him.
Right, because you're going to have false prophets that will come in their name, all right? They're not going to come in the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, so what they say is not going to come to pass.
Hey, like you got dudes, even in Israel, that go around saying that the mark of the beast is Christianity, it's an embargo, all this confusion. All right, talking about in the last days we're going to be partying and making merry and the Lord's going to come deliver us. That's not scriptural, that's not prophecy. According to prophecy, it's going to be trouble. And a lot of people, especially even brothers in this truth, the Lord is intensifying them dreams, man. Brothers having dreams, brothers, women are having dreams. All right, my Eve called me this morning talking about she had a dream about craziness, man. She was like, I had a dream and it was like just craziness. The world was shutting down. All right, people were killing each other. There was no food. People were just going crazy in the streets. All right, and then you came and you kidnapped me. You kidnapped me and you took me to... All right, she said I kidnapped her and I took her to some picnic area. All right, where it was peaceful, man. But before that, she didn't want to go because she didn't know who it was, man. I just pulled up out of nowhere. All right, I put a mask over her head. Okay, and the reason why I did that, she told me the reason why I told her the reason why I did that is because I didn't want her seeing all the chaos that was in the streets, all the dead people, because she was gonna, panic and lose her mind. So to keep her calm, I just put a blind thing over her head, and then I took her to some spot. So when I took the thing off, before I took it off, she said when I was grabbing her up, she stomped on my toe. All right, and she kind of messed up my toe, whatever. So she knew it was me when I took her to the safe haven. And she looked down because, when you have the mask on your face, the bottom is open. So she looked down and she see my feet and she's like, oh, so it was him this whole time, And I took her to this quiet spot. There was a few people there. All right, it was like a picnic area. She said it was beautiful, man. And I kept her in this room and I told her, wait here until everything calms down. I'll be right back to get you. You know what I'm saying? That's what she said. She was like, she felt so confident because all her friends were getting fucked up. But when I came over, I picked her up. She was good, man. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, that's the vibration of the earth right now. The Lord is telling people, all right, through us, all right, prophets, that what? Trouble is coming. It's not a time of happiness and a time of mirth like you see these people in these streets. You got people, you got all the signs telling you that hell is coming to this place. The famines, the food shortages, all right, the riots. All right, people getting pissed off and saying, yo, we're tired of this lockdown. Open things back up. If you don't, we're gonna have to force your hand.
Oh, yeah.
All right, that goes into 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, man. The course of their action shall be in their power, man. 15, Salakia. All right, so that's all. Hey, the military coming in with the vaccines. Okay, you look at Australia right now. They're talking about it's gonna be mandatory, man. No jab, no pay.
And Virginia, yeah, Virginia health commissioner. So he came out. He said, look. He's going to mandate the vaccine. He said, if I'm still in office in power when this vaccine comes out, I'm making sure everybody in this state gets it, and I don't care about no exemptions. That's what he said. You see? He said, I don't care about the backlash that's coming. We're gonna vaccinate everybody in here. So
and those are time of Jacob's trouble, man. Jacob's trouble is really Esau pressing upon Jake with afflictions. That's what it talks about. All right, the
Great
afflictions, the great wrath, and the resentment or the fighting back, the resistance. Because if the only way Esau is going to have to press you is if you're resisting his will. Okay, because right now, if you're going according to his plan, why does he have to use force? The force is going to come down through Yahweh Bashim Yahushua because what? It's all a punishment in the form of its of judgments.
Right.
Okay, that's how the Lord is playing it out, man.
Say Esau's weapon.
His weapon, right? You know what I'm saying? Quick precept. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28, verse 8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
So how you gonna know who the true prophets are? We're gonna prophesy against these kingdoms of what? Of war, evil, and pestilence. So they call us fear mongers, and we're constantly trying to spew fear. That's what the prophets of old did. Because when the Lord sent out prophets, most of the time it was to tell them the judgment before it came. All right, as a warning. The prophets came as warnings. We didn't come to just, just laugh and giggle with you. So if these people are teaching prosperity of this place, and we're teaching the downfall of this place, well, read Jeremiah 28 and 8, and then, no, you don't got to read it again. I'm saying in general. Oh, you have more than that? Okay, and you can find out who the true prophets are.
Hey, and that's
So precept, thank you up. This is when Samuel came into town. This is what the people said. 1 Samuel 16 and 4. And Samuel did that which the Lord spake and came to Bethlehem. And when the elders of the town trembled at his coming and asked, comest thou peaceably? So when men saw the prophets, they knew it was some type of judgment being brought for them. Because when they saw Samuel, they trembled just looking at him. Because they normally, when they saw the prophets, they was like, oh shit, it's about to be some bad type of news delivered. You know?
Like in the garden.
Yeah. Because if you're doing good, the Lord send you blessings. There's nothing to worry about. So like, but if you see like men coming on the scene, setting up to tell you, people always knew like, oh shit, it's going down.
Yeah.
But people today is more idiots. You know what I'm saying? They see the prophets and see men saying these different signs and don't take it as a warning. Back then, but people was like more clever and more in tune with God and the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So when they saw the prophets setting up on the scene throughout history, they knew some type of great judgment was coming.
and a lot of people's minds, their spiritual minds, were desensitized with the media. The media plays a big role in people not believing in the Most High, man. It plays a huge one. That's why Esau created the media, but at the same time, the Lord using the media to raise up the elect, to wake up the elect, man. The YouTube. See, so the dichotomy, man. The Lord deals with balance. All right, Proverbs 11 and 4. All right, 11 and 1. Select it. All right, continuing Jeremiah 28, verse 9, it says, the prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord hath truly sent him. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it on that. Let me get Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. It says, to everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. All right, so you've had this. There's always going to be a time of peace, all right, and a time of trouble, a time of pain, a time of war. Okay, that's just the balance of things, man. That's just how the Lord puts a balance on this earth. Okay, that's why there's something called birth and there's something called death. All right, it says a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. So now the Most High is building up the nation of Israel, starting with the elect, just like how he's
Breaking down
Esau. There you go. There you go.
Beautiful. That balance.
God. Verse 4, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. So right now it's going to be a time to weep, all right, and a time to what? A time to mourn. That time is now. But after that, okay, for the nation of Israel, it's going to be a time to what? A time to laugh and a time to dance. That's going to be in the kingdom, man.
Hey, but the Lord's bad because guess what? He balances everything out. See, we're weeping and mourning now. What does the Lord say? Woe unto you that laugh now, and ye shall weep later. And in that day of God, the Lord said, what? We gonna rejoice with joy of heart. We gonna sing. We gonna eat. We gonna praise His name while you people are suffering. All right. So in the time of your 2 Ezra 9, where it talks about they love the Heavenly Father's law, so in the time where you're having mirth, okay, right now we're in a solemn mindset. When our house breaking loose and you solemn, then the Lord is going, because we're going to be excited. Because we know what? The Lord got us protected. And what's coming next? The kingdom. So we're looking forward to it. We're excited.
Quick precept.
just to back up your point, this St. John 16:10. Verily, verily, I say unto you, that ye shall weep and lament, but the world shall rejoice. And the world shall be sorrowful, but your sorrow shall be turned into joy. So basically, with the Lord, basically to back up the brother point, verily, verily, I say unto you that you shall weep and lament, but the world shall rejoice. Because right now, you know, we living in this condition, you know, being men of the Lord, a lot of pressure, a lot of, you know, restrictions, living in this wicked world. You know, the righteous they complain day and night.
Right,
What it say in
right.
Second Ezra, something like that.
Right. Continually.
Yeah, complain to the Most High continually. Salak for butchering that. But the prayers of the righteous go up to the Most High continually, complaining about this place. You know, so while we sitting here weeping and mourning about this place, about the wickedness, things we gotta endure living here, endure seeing situations, people out in the world is rejoicing. But as this place fall and get flipped upside down, which is happening now, we in transition to that now, we gonna be rejoicing because the righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. You know, we gonna be rejoicing as this place fall, but people that love this place, they gonna be weeping and mourning. But I'm gonna read it again. Verily, verily, I say unto you, that you shall weep and lament, but the world shall rejoice. And you shall be sorrowful, but your sorrow shall be turned into joy. So it's going to get flipped upside down. And another quick one to back that 2 Corinthians 7:10. For godly sorrow worketh repentance to salvation, not to be repented of, but the sorrow of the world worketh death. So see, godly sorrow, so when you sorrow in this truth, it worketh salvation, because different things you're going through, it purifies you, it refines you. So, and we don't want to repent from those tribulations, because we know it refines us, it betters us. So it says, for godly sorrow worketh repentance to salvation, but is not to be repented of. But sorrow of the world worketh death. So when you suffering from this world, you're going to just be destroyed. But when it's better to suffer in the Lord than to suffer from things of this world. You know, but people rather, and don't get it twisted, they out here so-called having fun, but they, trust me, they catching hell. People, especially you jakes that's living in this world, y'all so-called partying and doing what y'all doing, but y'all feeling it. You know what I'm saying? We feeling it like spiritually, having to live in this place and view and look at all the bullshit here, you know. But y'all, the tables is being turned, you know. But that's just the back of the thing.
Beautiful point, yep. We're going to jump, finish off Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. All right, it says, verse 5, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away.
Yeah, and now is the time, all right, that we're embracing, because we're here and you can come up, you can ask questions over there, and we're willing to talk to you and break down the scriptures to you. And if you're gonna get it, we'll embrace you. All right, but in that time of Jacob's trouble, it's gonna be refraining from embracing. You come to us, we're gonna be like the 5 wise virgins, and we're gonna tell you to go get the truth somewhere else.
That's if you can find them.
Right.
You can find the brother. Cell phones gonna be off, and even if brother's cell phone's on, listen, man, I'm kind of like that now. If I don't recognize your number, or you call me from some unknown number, you could be a brother. If that shit is not stored in my phone under your name, I'm not picking that shit up. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you know, it's coming into those times, because a lot of people be calling you with a bunch of fucking nonsense and bullshit. And if I ain't have my number as long as I did, I just change my number and just give it to certain brothers and be like, listen, don't give my number to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a lot of people in this world, you know, that they think you their personal messenger. They think you their personal mentor and prophet. You know, when they can say fuck the Lord, but anytime they want to be comforted or ask a question, they think they got access to call you. So I be putting motherfuckers on block, or I just don't pick up. You know, if I don't recognize the number, hey, my fucking call list is short. I mean, it got like other like food spots and different shit in there that I order and eat from. But if you check out like the list of people, that shit is short, man. It's not many.
Good.
I got a precept. This is Amos chapter 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, save the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Most High. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it.
So that means that something is going to be happening that's going to make it the word of the Lord so valuable. All right, hey, just like the way gold is skyrocketing. The reason gold is going up is because the dollar's going down. So when the word becomes more valuable, it's going to be because this society is going down. So people are going to be desperate, and they're going to be looking for answers, man. They're going to be desperate, man, as we just read up in there. Okay, now does that mean that there's not going to be an actual famine of bread and of water? No, because there actually is going to be a real famine. But what the Lord is speaking about here is a famine of hearing these words, man. And that's what makes something's value go up, is its rarity. All right, when it's scarcity, all right, the value goes up because not anybody can just go and get it. Well, especially when you need it most. What did the Lord say? They shall call on me, they shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. Okay? So it's going to have to be real bad if you're going to have people in the world trying to seek the Lord.
Because it's what? It's all about comfort.
Right.
People want to be comforted. You know, they ain't even really seeking the Lord for salvation. They just want to be comforted. They want somebody to tell them that been serving the Lord, oh, things is going to be all right. The Lord got you. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to anoint you. You know, the Lord said, pray not for this people.
God.
You know, 2/3 of you already doomed, and y'all going to try to get right at the last minute. You know, because niggas is fucking freeloaders, man. That's what niggas is. They fucking freeloaders. They come around at the last minute when shit, you know, or like when you setting up for the party, them niggas not there to help put the tables up, or when it's time to clean up, them niggas is fucking gone. Or they don't bring shit. They always come with in the midst of the midst of the party. Like the party from 9 to 3 in the morning, they'll come like 11 or 12. With all the girls there, all the drinks there, and they'll be out. They'll be out or they'll stay to the end. But when it's time to clean up and get shit together, niggas out the door, man.
They're the first ones to leave.
Yeah, the first ones to leave, man. They out the door when it's time to like straighten up and do like the dirty work. So y'all think y'all gonna get over on the Lord like that? You ain't gonna get over on the Lord like that. You think you gonna just sin and do wickedness and live your life, and then you like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get when the judgment comes and the doors of repentance close, you think you just gonna slide in there and be like, hey, here I am, Lord. And yeah, you got a lot of people that fell out the truth, man. And they in the world and they think they got all this fucking time when you don't, you know? And they think like, okay, I'm gonna get back with the Lord when I feel like it. And they think they gonna slide back in and re-show up and try to get back in. But the Lord gonna reject a lot of you niggas, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
Rightfully so.
Right. There's a book of John to back you up on that precept on what you said. There's a book of John chapter 17 verse 9. Yahushua said, I pray for them, I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine. And that's talking about the elect, man. All right,
Yeah,
that's
and
what
the
we...
world right there is cosmos. So look, he's saying, look, I don't pray for the whole world. He's saying, look, I pray for them, the elect. I don't pray for all of Israel. He wasn't talking about the world as far as like ointment or like the inhabitants of the planet. Because that'd even be dumb to say that. Because, you know what I'm saying? So he was talking about the world of Israel. He said, look, I pray for my disciples. I don't even pray for all of my people. Right. I pray for my disciples. And he said, what? If you continue with my word, you was also my disciple indeed. You know?
Yeah, that's us. That's us.
we're going to jump straight into some prophecy.
Right, come
right.
going into it. Hey, because we're going to show you, all right, because, you know, it's important. It's really important to know, you know, we know the basics of the scriptures, but it's also important to know prophecy in detail. Okay, so that if somebody was to ask you, okay, well, what's going on in the world? How does it, like, where is that in the Bible? Because we tell them World War III is going to come. We tell them this system is going to go down. But when people start to ask you more specific questions, okay, what does this mean? Why? Who's doing this? What is that about? The beast, this, that. You got to know how to, you know, go into it and show them where certain things that are happening now is written in prophecy, because oftentimes it'll be written in a dark saying that you got to break down and then tie it into what's happening in the world today. So you got it.
Is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 8. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn.
Right, so what this is talking about is Daniel seeing that vision, and that little horn is representing the 13 colonies, all right, which later on became the United States of America. Okay, but it was a little horn because it was a little, all right, only 13 colonies. All right, so basically that's what Daniel is looking at. He's looking at a vision of the conception of America, or Babylon. All right, Babylon the Great, I should put it. Okay.
Continuing, it says, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots.
Before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. So in the time of the conception of Babylon, which is going to fulfill a great part of prophecy, in that conception, you had those read that part again.
From the top or just right
No,
there?
just that part.
It says, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots.
Right, 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots, and that was the British, the French, and the Spanish, because they were the ones. Because where was America? What's the word I'm looking for? Created. All right, it was here on the West Coast. Right, here on the West
Western
Coast,
Hemisphere.
the Western Hemisphere. So on this land, there you had the natives, but who were the people who came and imperialized or colonized this land? It was the Spanish, all right, which was really Central and South America, and then it was the British and the French. Okay, that's why you have certain areas still in America that are named after the French. Okay.
Like, I could back you up. Yeah, hey, the brother's on point, because when you really go into it, it was 3 basically conquests America had to go through to get its so-called independence as its own country, because it was those 3, the British, the Spanish, and the French. Like in Louisiana, that's why you got a lot of them niggas in Louisiana is Haitians, so to say. Down there, you got something called the French Quarter. I mean, a major part of Louisiana is called the French Quarter, and down Louisiana basically belonged to the French, and that's where America got Louisiana from the French. New York, Spain had New York. Britain had New York, and Spain had Florida. That's where when you watch those Seminole Wars, when you know about the First and Second Seminole War, when you get into the history, they was fighting the Spanish. Because Spain, I think America paid Spain like $3 million or $4 or $5 million for Florida. And back then that was a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So Spain had like Florida, Britain had New York, and French the Louisiana. That's why they still, to this day, they call it the French Quarter.
Right.
And when you go into the history of West Africa, it was the French who grabbed Levi out of West Africa, like the Awe tribe, Wida, from Wida, the Aways, because Benjamin, like a lot of the Ashantis and Benjamin up in West Africa, Benin and all them up in West, Benjamin was wild as fuck. I mean, they was wild. So none of the slave masters really wanted to own Benjamin. So the British wound up like taking Benjamin, but originally Levi too was going to go into Benjamin. I gotta look at, it's in the book Hebrewisms of West Africa. But originally Levi was first in the British hands, but they wound up going into the French hands, and the French had Hispaniola, but that all fulfilled prophecy. Simeon and Levi are brethren. So the Lord had it go his own way, even though the British had first, they had Levi. And when the French got Levi, they also had Louisiana. So they wasn't bringing just their slaves to Haiti. They was also bringing them to Louisiana. Even Lil Wayne from Louisiana, he stayed yelling that Zopound shit. He'd be like, yeah, look, Zoe Pound gang, nigga. That Zoe shit is a popular gang under Levi. But you'd be like, yo, Lil Wayne ain't no fucking Haitian. He from Louisiana. Why is he so in tune with Zoe Pound and this and that? Because that shit resonates in his spirit with those. Not saying our people should be gang members and shit, but with those group of Israelites claiming that gang, that shit resonate inside his spirit. And if you check him out, them niggas in Louisiana is fucking, they just like them Levites in Florida. They got them thick ass dreadlocks. Them niggas is wild, just like off of Bad Boys too, man. You know what I'm saying? And they all shit like they all Levi, man.
That's a strength. I have a couple of friends that one is actually his go back to Haiti, and then another one is a female. She's actually I believe from Louisiana, and they both speak Creole. Which is I believe the Haitian tongue. That, they
broken French.
French, God. So they all speak that, and I was like, oh, but why? I asked her because she was speaking, and I was like, yo, what language is that? She was like, oh, that's Creole, and I was like, yo, that's crazy. Like you from down south and you speak Creole? I thought that was some Haitian shit. And she was like, oh no, like we're all kind of together and shit. Like my ancestors go back to Haiti. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
And when you check it out, the Lord, when he visited Levi heavy, I think in 09, he hit it with that big earthquake. Then also he hit it. What year was Katrina?
I think it was 05, right?
Oh, see, he got Levi in 09. He hit him with Katrina. Then he had fucked him up. He fucked him up with Katrina. Then he hit him with the earthquake in 09. Then he had that storm that ripped Levi. It was called Matthew. And Matthew's surname was what? Levi. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord, man, don't, he fucked Levi up, man. You know what I'm saying? But hey, the Lord, hey, he got Ephraim, he got all those tribes. But hey, he and his name, that's why he said meditate on my precepts. His name be signed on all those judgments, man. You just got to be in tune with the word.
That's right.
It's a lot here, fellas.
No, it's beautiful. It's the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 8. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots.
Right, so we went into the 3 horns, which were the French, the Spanish, and the British, and they were plucked up by the roots, being uprooted from from the Western Hemisphere, and then back into the East, because what? This place was supposed to be for America to come and take over and really put that wickedness into fruition. Because hey, even the Europeans, all right, in Europe look at America as like, nah, like they don't like Edomite Americans, okay? Because Edomite Americans are the proudest devils of devils, man.
Who was more stout than his fellows.
Yep. Right.
It says, and behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things.
And a mouth speaking great things, man. And a lot of the craziest BS in here comes from here, whether it's blasphemies, all right, or it's ridiculous laws, all right, or certain things that they promote in this place. It all stems from this cancer, which is Babylon, and then spreads to all different parts of the world.
Right, because you got Western societies, then you got Westernized societies. Now, just because your country might be in the East, don't mean it's still not a Westernized society. Like London, Britain, that's still a Westernized society, even though it's in the East.
So now we're on that. Yeah. Now
We're going to jump to verse 20. It says, and of the 10 horns that were in his head.
wait, it's not. When were you here? Finish it. Okay. All right.
God, Daniel chapter 7.
So now we just read about the conception of America and how it grew, because it went from the 13 colonies to the United States after taking out the French, the Spanish, and the British. So now this place is American territory, right? Cool. Now, over time, when you even read in Revelation 13, it talks about how it had it came up as a lamb, was big as a dragon. Okay, that's all the creation and the buildup of Babylon. Okay, so now let's get one attribute of that.
It's the book of Daniel chapter 7 verse 20. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell.
Right, so the other which came up was what? Babylon. okay, before whom 3 fell, which was the same 3 that was uprooted, like we just mentioned. Go ahead.
It says, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows.
Whose look was more stout than his fellows. All right, that's why. Hey, and Trump, that's why Trump is the perfect guy, because he's like a personification of America. Especially when they go to these different meetings and these gatherings, you'll see how he always wants to, like, where was it? Was it that video where he like sort of like pushed that other dude back so he could like get in the forefront of it? And you know, you got that face that, you know, that Trump face.
He was in the back, he just kind of shoved it in his
Yeah, like, hey, fuck.
This nigga mad extra.
Yeah.
And those
He be talking shit about them. He
Yeah.
be telling them they gotta pay their debts and shit, different fines and shit like that on certain not tariffs but fees and fines and shit that they ain't pay.
Hey, there was another one where he was sitting there with Angela Merkel, the German chancellor, and they were sitting together. And then, you know, when prime ministers and presidents meet, or heads of states or whatever they meet, they normally do a handshake and then they look at the camera and take pictures. And they kept telling him, the president, handshake, and he had his hand like this, just looking around.
Oh yeah,
And she's just sitting there like whispering, like, yo, we gotta shake hands. Like, she's trying to cooperate, but he's like on something like, I don't even hear what you're saying. I'm like, yo, this nigga, bro.
Okay,
Yeah, like, he's just chilling and shit. I'm like, this guy, man.
Hey, because well, like it says, his look is more stout than his fellows.
Right.
So they got that proud sentiment, because now it's like, if America don't do it or don't say it's okay, then it's an issue. If America says it's okay, then we can do it. But eventually, what's that going to do? That's going to cause these other nations, because they're already in alliances, right? But now they're going to start looking like, hold up, this is supposed to be an alliance. I'm not supposed to be your slave. You're not supposed to be above me. We're supposed to be partners. So you thinking that when you want to do something, we all got to be okay with it. But if we want to do something that you don't want to do, then it's a problem. Nobody can do it.
Yeah, and Babylon used a lot of NATO members for pawns to like fuck with other countries. You know what I'm saying? Like they would they try to use Turkey as a pawn to like go at Russia. So that's what these other countries was doing. They was like, listen, in World War II and World War I, our countries on lands and got fucked up. Your shit was good. You know what I'm saying? We the ones that had to rebuild shit, and our people got bombed and shit like that. Like, so what Babylon try to do is they try to send like NATO and them little different countries to deal with like the rival forces like Russia, China, and Iran. You know? Like they tried to set Japan up when they was like when they bombed their ship, and they was just like they was like the Iranians and they was trying to get Japan to go at Iran so they won't have to fight like on some like stunt dummy shit.
Yeah.
But Japan was wise. They was like, nah, we want better proof. We want better proof. But see, and people don't like, yo, you trying to stunt dummy. You know what I'm saying? That's like, I know he's my size and weight class, and I like boom. But I'm like, yo, if I fight this dude, we both fuck around and get hurt. But you know what? This my so-called friend. I'ma soup his head up to fight him, and knowing he gonna just get fucked up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And but possibly by these little countries fighting you, I could just back off like, oh damn, Russia bombed the shit out of them. That's fucked up, yo. Like, but and the whole time I hyped you up, and Babylon not really gonna step in there. Israel not gonna step in there and defend Greece or fucking Portugal or one of them. They gonna be like, they gonna be like, oh man, yeah, that shit. Wait, tell the brother the part closer to the
I think he did. He did because he came from right here.
Yeah, it's further down and walk around. But yeah, they not gonna defend Babylon. I mean, they not gonna take up for them. Babylon is only gonna defend Israel when shit get real. But they will use these other small NATO countries and these countries in the EU as pawns to like, go see that bear over there? Go over there. Now I mean, it's try to stunt dummy them. Then when that bear fuck them little countries up, you ain't gonna go in there and help them. Like, yo, Russia just bombed the shit out of Greece. Babylon gonna sit back like, oh, that's fucked up. Damn, that's fucked up what they did, what happened to Greece. You know, they might spit some bullshit. Actions will be met. Russia will pay. He ain't doing shit.
Hey, and that's biblical prophecy, man. That's why it says the whore that sitteth on many waters. Okay, so the whore, everybody wanna hit, right? But nobody could touch her. Meaning what? The power that she has, that's why she's sitting on top of many waters. The power that she has, all these countries want to have that power, but they can't. So they, by means of them doing what the whore says for them to do, they hope to gain some of that power. They hope to be on the same level or at least overtake the whore. But it's not gonna work, man. The Lord is the one who's gonna take down this place, man. Not no other country. So all these threats with, oh, Russia's gonna come here, Iran. Nah, it's Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai who's gonna put the spirit on them to do it to a certain extent. But the glory is gonna be for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, man. There's not no country that's gonna be, wow, do you see what Russia did to America? Wow, history has changed for no.
They all gonna turn and fight against Yahushua anyway.
Yeah.
So he's gonna become the main enemy. So like we read, what, his look is more stout than his fellows, right? Now, like the elder just brought out, these are the actions that they commit because they have that proud mindset. Now, you think that the beast system that they're a part of is just gonna sit there and let them do that? Eventually, they're gonna get tired of it. All right, and that's what we're gonna get. And that's what we're seeing right now. So the strong structure of the beast system is being fractured. It's being broken. It's being cracked up. Okay, because of the tensions in
break
it.
his teeth in his mouth, like the beast.
No, Daniel, where you at?
38, right?
Start at verse. Yeah, start at verse 41.
This is Daniel chapter 2, starting from verse 41.
So this is the timeline, all right, that like we always go into the timeline the Lord gave of what was to take place from the time of the Babylonians all the way until the time of Yahushua's return. Okay, so right now we're gonna read about the feet of the statue, which is the time we're in right now. Okay,
Yeah, that's why the scripture is the only true book that's on this planet Earth, man, because ain't no other book in this world that can actually give you a timeline of things to happen before they even happen, man. And then when you go back into history, that's when we go into secular history. All right, you actually read the events that happen pertaining to what the scriptures say is on point, man. It's 100% on point. Okay, it's very on point, man. And it's like, yo, you read this and then people be like, oh, no, the white man wrote this book. Bro, the scriptures talk about things that the white man was going to do before he even knew he was going to do these things. It talks about what America was going to do, the beast and so on and so forth, before it was even conceived. What beast was there during the Babylonian Empire? What about that? You see what I'm saying? So, hey, even the time of Yahushua, 2,000 plus years ago, guess what? They wasn't talking about no beast back then. You see what I'm saying? But now we know who the beast is talking about. All right, according to something called prophecy. No other book can do that.
Right. All right. We got all the pieces now, so we can put it together and look at it. Right. And now you can go back into history, but there's certain history we have now as history, but back then it was prophecy. Certain things Daniel wrote about, when he wrote about them, it was before they happened. But now it has already happened, so we can go and validate the scriptures even more by saying, well, look at what Daniel said at this time, and look at it actually happened. All right, we're looking at the whole picture now, so we can show you. Look, this is this. So now, what did John say? Look at the beginning of that happening now. So you know that this is what's about to happen.
Yeah, the pixels are coming together to form that clear picture, that 4K, 144K picture, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what's happening, because when things are scattered abroad, you can't really see it. It's pixelated. When you watch a picture, you're like, I can't really see. Once it comes together,
Like a jigsaw puzzle.
like a jigsaw puzzle. That's why, you see the clear picture.
Daniel chapter 2, starting from verse 41. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of a potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. But there shall be in it the strength of the iron.
Right. So the feet, all right, or the toes, is representative of the beast or the second beast, all right, that you read about in Revelation. Okay, and that feet and toes is made up of the European Union, all right, and NATO. Now, amongst the EU and NATO, you have part countries that represent iron, and some of them that represent clay. Why? Because clay is weaker than iron. Iron is stronger than clay. So you have certain countries that are stronger militarily, and then you have certain countries that are stronger economically. Okay, that's why they form alliances, because you might have a weaker country that'll now be backed up by a stronger country.
Those. Oh, the weaker countries. I always can remember them easy because they the big nations. like a lower level animal, and they call them like, hey, you call what cops? What, pigs? You know what I'm saying? Because they not actually pigs, but you call them like, yo, you a low ass grimy low motherfucker with no morals. You just out there wild. You know what I'm saying? So the pig nations is Portugal, because when you really when you check out the 10 horns, those pig nations are like really the ones that's real weak, like militarily. But when you check out Britain and them, they got like nuclear capability. You check their armies and shit out. They kind of like the iron. They kind of like the iron ones, you know. But the clay nations is real easy to remember when you just remember pigs.
Yeah.
Portugal, Italy, Greece, and Spain. Those are pig nations, which makes up the clay. But you know, doing your research, if you check them out militarily, they're not really that powerful and that great.
Yep. So go ahead.
And
So it said what? The kingdom will be broken or divided. Okay. So now we're seeing that the division's happening now. You had Brexit, which was British exit. Okay. And now you have tensions going on between Turkey and Greece. All right. Over there, they're talking about gas, amongst other things. And then you have tensions going on between the U.S. and France. I believe France, Germany, and Italy, right? Or no, UK. Okay, they call them the E3 because the U.S. is saying that, look, we want the United Nations to put sanctions back on Iran because that the JCPOA, the Joint Plan of Action, or the Iran nuclear deal is now void. So now we got to put sanctions back on Iran. But they're saying, hold up though, Iran didn't back out of the deal. You're the ones who pulled out of the deal. So we don't recognize your claim as valid. The U.S. is like, no, we don't want to hear that. So it's causing a tension between, because certain of the European countries still make certain deals with Iran, okay? And now they're saying, look, we can't go with you on this because now you're doing too much. That's not fair. That's why we have a United Nations for a reason, so we can have everybody come to the table and we can come up with a fair agreement.
Yeah, and that's some grimy, see, that's some nigga shit, but you niggas get it from you fucking devils, man. How the fuck Iran got all this oil, but you tell people in the world, listen, nobody could buy from him. That's like you got your own weed plantation. And I'm like, listen, nobody in the Bronx could buy from him. Everybody in this fucking area buy from me and me only. If anybody buy from him, it's gonna be consequences. That's some nigga shit. Like, you ain't the only one that's slinging oil, you motherfucker. And just cause you beefing with him, don't mean I'm beefing with him. He got the shit for sale, I'ma buy the shit. Your shit way the fuck over there. You know, Venezuela and Iran is fucking like rich as fucking oil. You know, hey, that's why I said action shall dip his feet in iron and oil, because the Iran of the West is Venezuela. Listen, man, if these people got oil at a cheaper price, you can't make me buy your shit. It's gonna be war. How you gonna be like, look, we got the same shit. He's selling it cheaper, but you gonna penalize me if I'm cocked for him because you beefing with him and you don't want him to use the money to blow your ass away? Man, get the fuck out of here, man. That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. So Iran just gotta sit, yeah, man. Hey, that's why you niggas is of your father, the devil, because you got niggas that do that shit. They'll move into a building, right? They'll be like, yeah, they'll come to Nino Brown of the community. And they be like, listen, everybody sell from me and everybody buy from me. Right. You know, if I catch you selling your own shit or buying from somewhere else, they probably kill you or beat you down or a combination of the two, you know? So, hey, man, I just find that shit ridiculous. You know, bad enough you got the petrodollar. But, hey, what if you don't be like, man, fuck the petrodollar. He got some oil right here. But you can't buy it. You can't buy from him, or you're in a fear of being, like, sanctioned and cut off from Babylon. You know, that shit is crazy, man.
And ultimately, too, like the elder just said, that's Esau's MO, man. That's why he's going to try to chip the whole world. He's like, look, if you don't want to come down and bow down to my altar, then I'm going to have to kill you. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to profess the name of Yahweh Hashem El Shai and not be of Satan and his demonic ways, Esau and his demonic ways, then, yo, we're going to have to put you down. It's going to be by force. That's Esau, man. Hey, and that's all to test you to see where your allegiance lie. All right, are you with the Most High? Are you with me? Because right now I'm the ruler of this earth. Where does your pledge lie, man? And there's a guy in my school who tried that shit one time. He had beef with some dude, all right, and he was like, "Yo, bro, he asked you for sign. Don't give it to him because I'm not fucking with him, and you my boy." So I was like, "No. You deal with him on your type of time. I'm dealing with him on my type of time, bro. Like, if I need something from this guy, I'm going to him and get it. If I need something from you, I'm gonna come to you and get it. But just because y'all don't agree doesn't mean I gotta pledge an allegiance.
That's
I don't.
female shit.
Yeah, and I'm not committed to no sides. I'm my own man. I'm gonna do me. You want me to commit to your side? He wants me to. No, that's not happening because that puts me at at somebody's mercy. You know what I'm saying? That's the weakest thing to do, to commit to somebody. That's insane, man. The only thing we commit to, only power is Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man, because he's the only one who can deliver us from all the hell that's coming. All right?
Next thing you know, they come together and you the common enemy.
Right.
Oh,
Exactly.
he came to you?
Yeah,
Oh, he was coming to me.
Oh, that nigga
Oh,
fake.
word?
Yeah,
Let's get into that. How they allies and you enemy. But it's
And also like Venezuela, you know, they put sanctions on Venezuela too, because they have a lot of oil, like the elder said, but they don't have a means to refine that oil. Okay, they don't have the catalyst. So in other words, you can have all the oil in the world, but if you don't have a way to make it into usable oil, usable fuel, it's worthless, right? Yeah. So Venezuela is not even part of the UN, has no affiliations with the United States, but they are still restricting them from buying from Iran. And they saying, oh, hold on, we in the midst of this COVID-19 shit. Our economy is crippled. We need something to do. You can make your deals with your allies, but leave us out of it, right? Come to find out, they did the deal with Iran. The oil tankers are on the route. A week ago, they came on the news talking about we successfully seized all the three of the oil tankers. They have over 1 million barrels of oil in their possession. Okay, and what are they doing? They looking to Iran and Venezuela. They looking to Russia for help. Okay, because on top of that, they also have like we were bringing out the UN, the European Union. They don't want to do certain things, but they have actually gone to a certain extent, like seizing the gold of the Venezuelan nation. They've seized all of it and they refuse to give it back to them. Okay, so and then you have the president of Putin. Putin sending troops, military equipment to help them defend themselves. Because also on top of that, the United States is also trying to influence the election in the country. Okay, so all these people are running to Russia, and then what the hell do you think is going to happen?
They're
All
gonna
right?
turn on the US.
Yeah.
That's why it says the beast shall hate the whore. They didn't say they just gonna disagree. They gonna hate the whore because they've been. You know when you're in a group with somebody that you don't like, but you bear it for so long, and then you finally hit that breaking point. When you hit that breaking point, you hate them. You don't just dislike them. You hate them because now you can fully express that dislike that you've had for all these years. You start thinking about like, yo, this whole time you had me doing all this stupid shit. This whole time you want me to starve because you don't want me dealing with somebody you with. So I'm supposed to, that's what these countries are saying. Yeah. My economy is supposed to go to hell when we supposed to suffer just to stay friends with you. What the hell you do for us? Nothing. Just because we're in an alliance by name, because NATO is now obsolete. Why? Because the only reason they were formed was to fight against Russian aggression. If Russia is not being as threatening as the Soviet Union was, they're saying
They're supposed to break down.
Exactly.
Once the Soviet Union had broke down to them smaller republics, NATO was supposed to have break down, but what they wound up doing, they kept pushing far east into Russian territory.
So now they're saying, look, bro, we not about to be your little puppy dogs, man. That's not how it works.
Hey, and also Germany, they try to make a plan to fund bring your money to fund and then make new weapons. But the European nations are saying, yo, we're still in the COVID-19. We don't have the money to finance this. Okay, the plans that you have set for us, we can't do it. We can at least pay half of it, but we can't follow the plan. We can't pay this amount of money every month or every 6 months. We cannot do that. And Germany went ahead and said that, and then the United States said, oh, you guys, Trump went all out, and spoke like evil of them. Okay, just straight up cursed them out. And You know, and they over here like, what the fuck is going on here? Like,
Yeah, because you like, I thought we was cool.
Yeah.
But when I can't keep up with it, instead of understanding, now you're demonizing me.
Hey, the word hate is as to hate, to pursue with hatred, to detest. All right, to be hated, to be detested. All right, so America, hey, right now with your influence in the world, everybody hates you, man. Greece, people from Greece always telling me, yo, your country is fucking annoying. Like I said, so all the back end that's happening. What do you think? She's like, I just want to bomb them. That's what she said. I said, yo, that's the spirit, man. I said, well, don't worry, God is gonna bomb them. Don't worry about it. She was like, yeah, I just want you and your family to be saved and everybody that you're cool with, but everybody else, the Lord should just bomb them all. I said, hey, that's the spirit, man. That's the hatred that these people, even the common people in their countries, yeah, they hate Americans, man. Yeah.
real quick, and also this businessman, one of the brothers posted a photo of a tweet that this man tweeted, and then the tweet said that, yo, my American passport is now it's worthless now because every country that I'm trying to go into to do business, they're not letting my ass in. So I have to use a different passport from a different from my actual country to actually get into these countries. So nobody's letting Americans in. You can't. At first, you had an American passport; you just go anywhere you want.
Right.
But now it's not that way anymore. Now they're putting more and more restrictions on American travelers.
And then now dealing with the whole thing with Greece and Turkey, they're both supposed to be a part of the EU and part of NATO, right? Now, according to scriptures, according to prophecy, Ezekiel 38, Turkey's going to be on the side of Russia, okay? But right now, they're still in an alliance with the West. So something is going to have to happen to cause that friction to get so much that they're like, look, to hell with you, we're going to go with Russia, China, and Iran, and we're going to basically blow your asses up. It's like back then you had the allied powers and the Axis, if I'm saying that right. Now it's being formed again today, the East and the West. Okay, so let's read that in Ezekiel 38 because it mentions Turkey along with those that are going to be on the side of Russia.
There's a book about Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 1. And the word of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God and the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him.
Right, and that's talking about the Russians. Okay, now these are what names, Japhetic names. Okay, but you got to understand that back then, after the flood, and they went to populate the whole earth, they called the lands after their names. Okay, so if Gog and Magog went to this land, they will call it after their name, just like Greece. Greece goes back to one of the sons of Japheth, Yawan. Okay, that's where you get Ionia from. Okay, so that's talking about the Greece, and so on and so forth. The land of Ham, the land of Canaan, named after the Canaanites. Javon. So when Tyree Sidon. So when breaking down the scripture prophetically, it's not dealing with the people, it's dealing with the land. Okay, who's inhabiting that land right now? All right, and right now is what? The Russians. Okay.
Oh yeah, I was looking for. But you could go ahead. Y'all ain't get to Togomar yet. Right?
No.
Verse 3, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua thy power, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal.
Right. So now you're gonna read this when we tell them the Russians are in a part of prophecy and they're gonna shoot missiles on America. You're gonna say, well, I never seen the word Russia in the Bible, so what do you mean? Where's that at? You gotta understand, in the scriptures, you ain't gonna see the word nigga, all right? Well, you see Niger, but you ain't gonna see like Latino and Dominican and Puerto Rican, but yet they still in the scriptures. You just gotta know by what name they're in the scriptures as, okay? Now it's just like a different language, so to speak, right? We see things as numbers, the computer sees it as lines and dashes, okay? But it's still in there. It doesn't mean that number 6 is down in the computer just because you don't see 6. It's just written differently. So they're in the Bible, they're just written differently, okay? So we, pursuant to Amos 3 and 7, that the Lord has given us the understanding, can speak the language of the Bible. So we can take the language of the Bible and put it into modern day language to feed it to you. Just like we take ingredients and prepare it in the kitchen and turn it into actual meal food.
Right. Verse 4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thine enemy horses all thine army.
So the Lord said, what? I will turn thee back. All right, back to what? Okay, you got to look at Russia now and look at how they were before. All right, as the Soviet Union. Okay, they were much more aggressive. Hence, the reason why they created these alliances to come against them. But you know, I found something interesting. I was reading in the book "Behold a Pale Horse" by William Cooper. Come to find out, man, hey, man, these elites, man, they're a bunch of slick devils. This whole time, the Soviet Union, the aggression between all these two, they were making undercover deals with the U.S., man. Mikhail Gorbachev and Bush and all these other people, they would go in a submarine, a deep submarine, and they will go under, and I believe they'd meet somewhere around Antarctica, where nobody can know. Because to the public, it's like, oh, Russia's the bad guy, they're going against the, the West. No. That's all orchestrated. It's called controlled opposition. We just didn't know the level of which it reached, man. Controlled opposition is not just between Democrats and Republicans. Nah, they took that global, man. Okay? That's why they took out the czars of Russia, because they went in there and they want to control. Once they have control, they are now the office. Okay, we're going to make you look like you're coming against them. And we're going to make them look like this, and we're going to set this up. Now, obviously, it's not like I'm going to come and tell Russia, hey, go bomb U.S. U.S., you fight back. U.S., you're going to get destroyed. No. They send agents in there to lead it in that direction. Because obviously the U.S. ain't going, or Russia ain't going to be like, why the hell should I listen to you and then I'm going to get destroyed just to fit right in your place? No. So they got to send secret agents in there. Okay?
And you got to understand that all world governments on this planet Earth are all controlled and orchestrated by Esau Edom. Okay? Through his treaties and plans and so on and so forth. Ultimately, banks ultimately lead into that new world order. Now, Putin, representing Russia and Trump representing the United States, they work together. Don't ever sit back and think, oh, they hate each other. No. They work together. Now, the reason why to the media, through the media and to the people, it looks like they're hating each other is because they need to create that constant fear. And then also to promote something called nationalism. So if I'm from US and a friend of mine is from Russia, we could have conflict and we're not going to be on the same page, causing more of a division. Why? Because I'm so pro-America, he's so pro-Russia. Meanwhile, they're both working together. Underground, they're working together, but meanwhile, I think, oh, we're against each other. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how Esau uses that to control the masses. And then, the reason why you know that these all work together is because at the end, the scriptures tell you, they all come together to fight against Yahushua. So if they're really against each other, they should say, nah, fuck that. You go fight him and I'll fight him on my own time. How come we all gonna come together and work together to fight against that one so-called common enemy?
Revelation 13 tells you the beast was from what? The leopard to the bear. And that was the Greeks to the Russians. So that means they're also a part of the system.
Right. So it also, because it said I would turn these back. So it was a time Russia went to sleep from that old USSR state. Because the USSR, when did the USSR fall? Was it 91?
I can find it.
91.
91. Okay, when the USSR fell in 91. After that, it had two presidents. Yeah, it fell in 91. You had Boris Yeltsin, and you had Mikhail Gorbachev, if I'm saying it right. Mikhail with that shit stain on his fucking forehead. That nigga been praying to Allah. But jokes aside, but they had Gorbachev and Boris Yeltsin, and basically, they was trying to make Russia basically a fucking democracy. You know what I'm saying? And they basically, Russia was getting like loose and out of hand to the point, at some point, it was like damn near turning or going down that alley of turning into basically another America. Then you had, what's the fucking Jewish guys that was up there? They was like sucking Russia dry the whole time. Putin got one of them arrested. The Jewish, what's their name?
BDL?
Putin, it's the,